That's the problem in America. There is one view,
right, and that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit in the corner.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Talk about Whoopi Goldberg because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before.
Sure.
So everybody was like, "Oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma."
Bill Maher has made it his mission to dismantle woke arguments, and his latest target? None other than Whoopi Goldberg. To be honest, the actress kind of set herself up for this with her growing collection of cringe-worthy remarks. Since 2022, Maher hasn't just criticized her. He's been tearing her down piece by piece, delivering takedowns so intense that Whoopi's been scrambling for cover like a cartoon character dodging falling anvils. So what did Goldberg say this time to spark Maher's fury? And how did his razor-sharp response send the woke crowd into a frenzy? Don't worry, we've got all the juicy details right here. Buckle up, folks. This is more than just a bumpy ride. It's a roller coaster with no safety harnesses.
We have got to get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Whoopi Goldberg has created quite a stir, and now she's facing the cold, hard truth, which is far from elegant. Remember our last video where Bill Maher harshly criticized Sunny Hostin for misrepresenting his words? Well, the team at The View isn't taking that defeat lightly this time. Enter Whoopi Goldberg, seemingly on a mission to even the score. It seems Sunny couldn't withstand the pressure Maher applied, so she called him back up, none other than Whoopi Goldberg herself. And let me tell you, she came in full force, ready to clash like a contender on a reality show no one signed up for.
People can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Classic Whoopi Goldberg, treating the woke guidebook like her personal Bible. When her argument starts to sink like the Titanic, she conjures up a straw man and launches a full-scale attack. Bill Maher was clearly pointing out that Black Americans are seeking better jobs, a strong economy, and accountable policing. Simple, right? But then Whoopi jumps in, talking about backing a former prosecutor with programs for the working class. Does that make any sense? Absolutely not. Do you follow her logic? Naturally not, because it's just not there. It's like she's throwing darts blindfolded, hoping to hit the target. Spoiler alert, it doesn't, and Bill Maher wasn't going to let that slide.
Let's tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. Just, no, it's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
This time, Maher didn't hold back. He pointed out that Whoopi's ideas often lack coherence, a trait that's become all too familiar with The View. The show has morphed into the political talk show equivalent of a train wreck, painful to watch, yet oddly captivating. Yes, it's infamous for its divisive and, let's be honest, questionable opinions on nearly everything. But Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg have taken the chaos to a whole new level with their downright outrageous comments. Remember when Charlemagne the God dared to appear as a guest? You could almost see him wondering if he'd stepped into an alternate universe.
All of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now.
Here's the deal. President Joe Biden, who always says no one is above the law, just pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, after he was found guilty of corruption. Surprised? Probably not. So much for family values. Of course, this decision sparked major backlash. How can you preach fairness when your own son gets a free pass? It's almost like justice works differently for the Bidens. Hunter's crimes were as obvious as a kid caught with cookie crumbs, yet somehow consequences didn't apply. That's where Charlemagne stepped in. If the woke crowd believes in justice for all, they should follow their own rules. Sounds fair, right? Well, Whoopi had a different opinion, And there it is, another facepalm moment from the queen of cringe herself, Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm gonna tell you what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
This time, she actually claimed that President Biden wasn't lying when he said, "No one is above the law." Seriously, Whoopi, because there's a mountain of evidence, videos, audio recordings, and maybe even ancient cave drawings proving otherwise.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States.
Watching Whoopi twist the truth is like seeing someone confidently claim the sky isn't blue while standing under a clear, cloudless sky. At this point, her mental gymnastic could qualify her for the Olympics, though she'd probably trip over her own reasoning even there. You could literally see the disbelief etched on Charlemagne's face as he reacted to Whoopi's remarks. But she didn't stop there. Whoopi went on to suggest that maybe President Biden changed his stance simply because he was tired of others surpassing him. Charlemagne was left speechless, completely taken aback by her shocking assertions.
So I'm just gonna follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that
They're
go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do that.
The problem with the so-called woke mob is that they only call out wrongdoing when it's someone outside their inner circle. But when the guilty person is one of their own, the outrage suddenly fades into quiet excuses or convenient memory loss. The so-called woke mob loves to present themselves as the ultimate judges of truth and morality. But their double standards are now plain for everyone to see. Take Hunter Biden, for example. Guilty as charged, no debate needed. Yet because his father sits in the Oval Office, he walks away without even a slap on the wrist.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bull.
If it were anyone else, the mob would be demanding their head on a silver platter. The real question is, how much longer will Americans put up with this double standard? This isn't just about Hunter Biden. It's about a system that bends over backward for the powerful while punishing everyone else. Maher's takedown wasn't just timely, it was a wake-up call for anyone still holding on to the illusion of fairness. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Maher pointed out that the woke mob often gets backing from mainstream media.
Was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course, you don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true.
The media went to great lengths to downplay the Hunter Biden scandal, doing everything possible to protect President Biden while trying to sabotage Trump's re-election. Major news outlets brushed off the story as Russian disinformation, even as the evidence kept piling up. Meanwhile, they silenced anyone who dared to disagree. Whoopi Goldberg eagerly joined the effort, dismissing the allegations as nonsense on The View. But Maher wasn't having it. He called her out for defending Biden instead of seeking the truth, systematically breaking down her excuses and exposing the blatant hypocrisy for everyone to see.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this. It's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied.
Maher hit the nail on the head. The ladies of The View, especially Whoopi Goldberg, aren't just woke. They're like a pack of relentless sharks, circling and ready to tear down anyone who doesn't fit their ideological mold. But Maher wasn't intimidated. He confronted them head-on, exposing their true tactics. Bullying disguised as activism. No wonder he's become a thorn in their side, constantly calling out their hypocrisy for an audience tired of one-sided narratives. His takedowns feel like a breath of fresh air, cutting through a room filled with stale, repetitive arguments.
Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office. But they do. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey.
Trump didn't steal the election, cheat his way in, or magically make it happen. He won fair and square because millions of Americans connected with his message. No matter how much that upsets the progressive left, instead of blaming Russia, racism, or whatever new excuse is trending on Twitter this week, maybe it's time to accept a simple truth. Democracy means sometimes the other side wins. It's not a flaw in the system. It's the system working exactly as it should. The sooner they stop playing the victim and start focusing on a real strategy, the better their chances will be in 2028 or even 2032.
I said there's a coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him. They certainly are those. And then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense.
Bill Maher nails it once again. Not everyone who supported Trump is out there hosting MAGA rallies or worshiping golden statues. Many people just voted for him because they were tired of the Democrats' preachy lectures and the woke mob's growing disregard for common sense. Voters didn't back Trump for his tweets or his infamous tanning bed look. They did it because the alternative felt like enduring a sermon from a self-righteous vegan at a BBQ. If the left wants to win, maybe it's time to stop alienating the middle by adopting every fringe idea from the activist playbook and focus on what actually matters to the average American.
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. No. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
It's pure comedy gold. Bill Maher didn't just hammer the final nail into Whoopi Goldberg's coffin. He practically built the whole thing while laughing at the absurdity of it all. Big mistake on her part. Maher's comeback was classic Bill, sharp, unfiltered, and hilarious. He pointed out the irony of a co-host from The View, a show that prides itself on being a platform for diverse opinions, criticizing him for having a perspective she didn't agree with. It's pretty ironic, isn't it? A group that claims to champion tolerance seems to only accept their own viewpoints. But as always, Maher wasn't having any of it. Watching Maher dismantle their weak arguments was like watching Picasso create a masterpiece, except instead of a paintbrush, he used sarcasm and logic. So let's keep challenging the status quo and demand a space where all perspectives can be heard. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fearless takes and fresh insights.